everybody, welcome back to Auto Scholar with Mr. B. I'm Mr. B. Today we have a 2010 Toyota Prius and we are going to clean the battery cooling fan. Now this is the cooling fan for the traction battery, the high voltage battery in this vehicle. And since this is a 2010, I talked to the customer and they don't really remember it ever being cleaned. So we're going to go in there and take the fan out, clean all the fan blades, clean out all the ductwork, make sure that the battery is getting proper airflow going to the battery, keeping it cool and making it last longer. Now this car has just had a green bean battery replacement, so I recommend that if your car has a few years on it or a lot of miles on it, or if you live in dusty conditions, have pets in the car, or the car is just dirty all the time, dusty, pollen, stuff like that, go ahead and check your fan to make sure it needs to be cleaned. So the air intake for the fan is in the back passenger side of the car, and I'll show you where that's at. And it's very important as well for you not to put anything over this vent, because batteries need to keep a proper temperature. So the traction batteries in these vehicles and all electric vehicles really like to be at the temperature that we like to be at. So they are optimal at 70 to 75 degrees. So we take the inside air from inside the car. If it's too cold outside, we're going to have the heater on, and the air will bring the heated air from the inside of the car in to heat up the battery. And if it's too hot, it'll take the air conditioned air out of the car and it'll cool off the battery. And the fan is a squirrel cage style. It looks just like the blower motor fan that's in this vehicle. And so a lot of times those fins get dirty, or we get things hung into the fan, and it can cause the battery to overheat. And overheating will definitely cause a lack of longevity for these batteries. So this is not that complicated. It's a little time consuming, and it does take a couple of trim tools and just basic tools that you probably have laying around the shop. So I'm going to take you to the back of the car. First thing we're going to do is disconnect the high voltage plug for the traction battery, and then I'll show you what to do from there. Here is the vent area for the battery. So you need to make sure the seat is folded down, but you need to make sure if you have anything in the back seat, it doesn't roll over and block this vent. Sometimes it can be blocked with plastic bags, napkins, papers, anything like that. You need to make sure this is clear and it doesn't have any obstruction, because this is the only place where the battery gets fresh air for cooling. Okay, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the cargo tray here. Get it out the way. This tray as well. And here you'll see our plug. This is the green bean battery I was telling you guys about. Very good company. Pull this out, clean it out, drop it, of course. And we're going to put this in a safe place away from the vehicle so it can't be plugged in. And now we're going to have to take off this whole right panel here to get to this fan. Now we're going to begin our panel disassembly. So first thing we're going to do is take this out here. This has some clips. It just pops out. That is going to expose this area here. And we're going to go ahead and pull the battery holder cover out of the way. And now we're going to work on, we have to get this piece out right here. There's a 10 millimeter bolt over here and maybe one over there that holds it in. I'm going to show you guys where that's at. Okay, this panel right here has to come out. There's a 10 millimeter bolt. I don't know if the camera can see it, but it is right here. And take it off. Right there. And we're going to fold this other seat down. And when we fold this other seat down, there's plastic clips that holds this panel in. We just pull up and disconnect this. We can pull this out. Okay, we're continuing working on this panel back here. We have a 10 millimeter right here. We have one right here for this buckle that needs to come off, and we have one right here. There is a plastic cover almost at the top of the seat belt here. I have to wedge out right there, and this should start loosening up once we get all these tins out. Once you get those tins out, let's see. Every once in a while there's a bolt back here. There's not one on this one, but there may be one on yours. There might be a tin back there. This should just pull out. Like so. And we'll just work this way, work this down here because it's trapped in by the seat belt here. Pop that loose. Just work that down there or anywhere else. Now we're starting to see ventilation parts here. So this is your exhaust. And here's your fan right here, but there's a couple things we have to do. We have to take this off right here. So there's a clip. Pop this loose here. There's a clip, you just pull up, and there's a clip here on the bottom. And then we'll see the fan. So we have to take the ventilation off right here. So looking at the top here, this right here, pop this loose. Then you have a 10 millimeter right there. And get the camera to focus there. Then you have another one up front underneath the vent there, right there. We need to get those out, and we need to unplug it. The plug is underneath here, right there. It's a little bit difficult to unplug, but other than that, so let's go ahead and get that done. So once you get the connections out, you get it unplugged, you can start kind of working it out. It should come out this way, and here we go. I'll show you what we got. So here is the fan. And you can see it is pretty dirty in there. It's hard to focus. And all those blades need to be cleaned off. There's a big heavy dust buildup on every one of those blades. And so the best way to clean this is to use air, compressed air, or a small brush or something like that. You can get in there to get all the dirt off. What you don't want to do is spin this with air pressure. The reason why is this can overspin this, and it can actually break the fan blades and shatter the fan on the inside. So if you're going to use air, you want to hold the fan, then spray it with air, move it, hold it, spray it, and just move around and spray off each of these blades. And then after that, all you got to do is put it back together and we're good. Going back with the install, we just need to make sure that this piece and everything is fit nice and neatly in there. All the foam around where the blower is intact, and the foam down there goes back in straight into the bottom of the battery. Also make sure that all your bolts are tight. All of your wiring clips and everything are in the proper area, and everything's plugged back in. Now all we have to do is put the interior back in, put our safety plug back in correctly, and we should be done. Okay, so that does it for our video on cleaning the cooling fan for the Gen 3 Prius. If you learned anything, please give the video a like, and of course subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of Prius content on my channel, and I'm getting even more prepared with a couple repairs in this car and a couple more I have lined up in the future. So if you are wanting to work on your own Prius, either Gen 2 or Gen 3, definitely subscribe to the channel because I'm going to give you a lot of content to do that with. Also, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, VK, just pretty much anywhere that social media is. I post a lot of content on there that I can't post on YouTube, so definitely check me out on those platforms as well. And good luck with your repair, and we'll see you next time on Auto Scholar with Mr. B.